When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
Former Quebec Premier Jean Charest has a big dream, but this time it has nothing to do with politics. And Jean Charest joins me on the line now. How are you doing, sir?
Elias, I am doing very well. I was in the Eastern Townships until a few hours ago. I came into Montreal today for some business, so I spent a good part of the whole last few months in the Eastern Townships, and it is very, very beautiful right now.
Oh, I can imagine the colors changing as well. The reason you're on today, Mr. Charest, is because you've been named the co-chair of the MUHC Foundation's Dream Big campaign. Now, you know in politics, they say timing is everything, right? Timing is everything. So tell me why the time is right for this campaign, and tell all of our listeners just what exactly Dream Big means.
Well, Dream Big is an opportunity for this community to support one of Canada's and Quebec's and Montreal's greatest institutions. The McGill University Hospital, Elias, let me share something with you to start, is one of the best known institutions outside of Canada. I've traveled a lot. I've been all over the world, both in politics and since I've been out of politics. If you were to go to Hong Kong, Singapore, if you go to London or Paris and say Montreal, chances are the word that will come to people's minds will be McGill. And our university hospital is front and center. So we have nothing short of a world-class, brand-new university hospital that is doing exceptional work for everyone in this community. For people who are very sick, by the way, because this is a university hospital, they treat diseases that are extremely complex, are persistent, and they have extraordinary teams of men and women, the brightest and best in the world, researching these diseases and offering cures. And we're launching a campaign so that we can allow them to do the work that they do best and to cure us and to be able to continue to lead in the area of research in the world. So this campaign is called Dream Big. Our ambition is to raise money for a number of projects that are very important, whether it's the area of cardiology or cancer or ovarian and endometrial cancers, which are silent killers for women, infectious diseases. And so when you say timing, Elias, is everything. Of course it is. With COVID-19, there is a team at McGill that is led by Dr. Shepard, who is leading a number of research projects specifically to combat this virus. And so that's what this campaign's about.
That's the MUHC's MI4, right? MI4
Yes.
is they're tackling COVID-19 and other infectious diseases. So tell me about how Dreaming Big will help that cause.
Well, what they're doing right now is a number of research projects, and just in the last 6 months, they've launched, the scientists at the hospital have launched 50 research projects to help solve the global pandemic, either treatments or tracking disease transmission or vaccine development. It gives you an idea how concrete work is being done now in the Montreal community. And by the way, Elias, one of the things that, again, that very few Montrealers, Quebecers or Canadians know is that Montreal has been, for the last 50, 60 years, recognized as one of the major centers in the world in the area of life science research. And the lead on that has been McGill. It has been these teams. And so more of a reason for us to recognize and reward that work and to support it so that we can continue to find the cures that we need. And in the context of the pandemic and what's happening now, more of a reason for us to get behind these researchers and to allow them to do what they do best, work to finding us the answers that we're very desperately seeking in this time of COVID.
We're with Jean Charest, former Premier of Quebec, and now the new co-chair of the MUHC Foundation's Dream Big campaign. While I have you on the line, Mr. Charest, I do have to ask you, because we are dealing with the pandemic, and you were in the Eastern Townships, just got back into town. I know you're not in the political game anymore, and I don't want to, make you opine on how the government is handling this. But I want to ask you if you think people are forgetting something when they criticize the government handling a situation like this. What are people, our listeners that are calling in and are upset about what's going on, is there something they're forgetting that you know about because you're in those positions of making big decisions?
Elias, there's no manual for what we're experiencing now. I mean, it's not as though the premier can turn around and say, well, when was the last crisis and what did they do? There's things you can look back on. I had a few of them in my time when we had the financial and economic crisis. This is totally different. The speed, the depth at which it has affected us is unprecedented in the history of mankind, really, closing down the economy and all the consequences related to that. So people should give governments some leeway on this. And they're trying desperately to do what they can to break the curve, to make sure it's under control. And one of the challenges they have is that with time, people listen less and less. I mean, it's human nature. That's the wrong attitude. We need to follow very, very rigorously what they're saying. And then, and if you're really feeling bad about what's happening out there and you're thinking and you're feeling a little desperate because there's not much you can do, support this campaign. If anyone today wanted to do something useful, helpful, something that's going to have an effect, you don't have to give $1 million. We'll take every donation counts, and people should support McGill, the McGill University Health Center, its foundation, and support the researchers who are on the front lines. These are the folks who walk into the laboratories every day trying to help our family members, help the people who have suffered from COVID-19 or from cancer or heart disease.
There are only so many hours in a day. Why did you decide to devote a certain percentage of those hours to this new campaign?
Out of pure admiration and respect for the people who do all the research and who are behind all of this extraordinary work. It is world class. And I had the privilege of being Premier of Quebec, Elias, and seeing for myself how important this was and how significant it was in the eyes of the rest of the world. It's the old story. I mean, it's not very original. We tend to take for granted what we have in our own backyard. Only this great institution was built over, tens and tens of years, and we should feel very proud and supportive of what they're doing. Montreal has 2 world-class university hospitals that we have just built. It has cost us billions of dollars. It's an extraordinary investment, but it's an investment that's going to make a difference in our lifetime. And now, if you're skeptical and you're listening, think how longer we live today relative to our grandparents. And all of that, what is that about? It's about better sanitary conditions. It's about a better lifestyle. It's about the things and the cures. Think of how much we progressed in curing cancers. My mother, I'm sad to say, passed away at a very young age of leukemia. She was only 48 years old. Most high number of patients today who suffer from leukemia are cured, and because the treatments have evolved because of researchers. The same is true here. So, I'm going to be very direct in this, in what I want to say to people and what we all want to say. This is a great opportunity for us to advance research and to help our community, and I hope that people will give generously the Dream Big campaign of McGill University.
Well, clearly the full court press on the Dream Big campaign starts right now. Jean Charest is co-chair of that campaign, former Premier of Quebec. I got to ask you before I let you go, has your phone rung, and has it been someone from the current government asking for advice?
It's from time to time, yes. People ask for advice, but when you've left, and And I think they're doing their best, including the opposition parties. I mean, everyone has acted in a very irresponsible way. And Elias, compare how the debate is unfolding in Canada relative to the United States. I think
Yep, that's a good point.
Well, I mean, and sure, governments need to be held accountable. There's no doubt about that. We have to ask questions. But when you're in the middle of a crisis, all hands on deck. And we're in this together. So folks everyone understands the frustrations, and yes, but we're going to have to be tough-minded about this as we deal with the virus.
Jean, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Elias.
Jean Charest, former Premier of Quebec.